Hello Swatantra viewers. Welcome to English News Bulletin. I am Mahima, bringing you the latest updates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday asserted that the Supreme Court judgment on electronic voting machines was a tight slap to the Congress-led opposition, which must apologize for committing the sin of creating distrust against EVMs. The Prime Minister, who addressed back-to-back election rallies at Araria and Munger Lok Sabha constituencies in Bihar, also charged the opposition with trying to steal reservations meant for OBCs, SCs and STs for the sake of their favorite vote bank of Muslims. When the Congress, the RJD and other India
साथियों, वोट बैंक की राजनीति के कारण ही कांग्रेस की सरकारों ने हमारी हजारों वर्षों की समृद्ध विरासत की सूध नहीं ली। आज जब मैं गर्व के साथ पूरी दुनिया में जाकर कहता हूं कि भारत लोकतंत्र की जननी है, तो ये आरजेडी, कांग्रेस, लेप वाले मेरे देश की मजाक उड़ाते हैं। ये मजाक सिर्फ मोदी का नहीं है, बल्कि बिहार के महान लोकतांत्रिक इतिहास का मजाक है। बीते 10 वर्षों में हमने अपनी विरासत, अपनी धरोहर को फिर विश्व पटल पर स्थापित किया है। गुलामी की मानसिकता से गिरे गए लोग।
He claimed that he was an OBC and knew the hardships faced by the backward classes. He claimed that the previous government headed by Manmohan Singh had given its assent for reservations to Muslims. The Prime Minister slammed the Congress and its ecosystem for trying to browbeat him, without success. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Friday took potshots at Prime Minister Narendra Modi over his attack on the Grand Old Party, saying he is scared and may even shed tears on the stage. The Prime Minister is scared. It is possible that he may shed tears on stage, Gandhi said, while addressing a public gathering at Bijapur in Karnataka. Modi has targeted the Congress on a variety of issues in recent campaign rallies, including Mangal Sutra, redistribution of wealth and inheritance tax charges. The former Congress chief accused Modi of diverting public attention through various means. Modi tries to divert the people's attention. Sometimes he talks about China and Pakistan, and sometimes he will make people beat plates and ask people to switch on the torchlight of their mobile phones, Gandhi said. He pointed out that there are 3 to 4 core issues in India, including poverty, unemployment and price rise. Gandhi claimed that only Congress can eradicate unemployment, contain price rise and give people their due share. Modi has only snatched money from poor people. He has made some billionaires. There are 22 people who have wealth equivalent to the 70 crore people of the country. Just 1% people are controlling 40% of the wealth of the nation, he alleged. Gandhi said in the present scheme of things, there is no scope for Dalits, OBCs, TR1BILs, minorities and poor general category people.
संविधान से हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को अधिकार, उनकी आवाज और आरक्षण मिला है। संविधान से पहले राजा महाराजा हिंदुस्तान पर राज करते थे। अगर आज हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों के पास, पिछड़ों के पास, दलितों के पास, आदिवासियों के पास अधिकार हैं, आवाज है, तो संविधान ने ये आवाज और ये अधिकार दिए हैं। तो एक तरफ नरेंद्र मोदी संविधान को खत्म करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उनके एमपीज ने साफ कह दिया है कि अगर वो चुनाव जीतेंगे तो संविधान को बदल देंगे और रद्द कर देंगे। और दूसरी तरफ कांग्रेस पार्टी और इंडिया अलायंस जो संविधान को बचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
In response to Bharat Rashtra Samiti senior leader T. Harish Rao's resignation challenge, Telangana Chief Minister A. Revant Reddy questioned the genuineness of the move and alleged that the resignation paper was not written in the Assembly Speaker's format. He wrote a big letter that was dictated by former Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. That is not how a resignation letter should look like, he said. Revant made the remarks during an address to the Congress social media team as part of the party's preparations for the upcoming Lok Sabha polls in Telangana on 13th May. He reiterated that the Congress government will deliver on its promise to waive off crop loans by 15th August. Keep your resignation ready, he told Harish Rao. Meanwhile, Harish Rao visited the Martyrs Memorial, called Gun Park in the city on Friday and distributed copies of his resignation letter to media personnel. He expressed his readiness to resign as an MLA if Revant Reddy fulfills the Congress party's farm loan waiver promise at one go by 15th August. Addressing the media at the memorial after paying tributes to the martyrs, the former finance minister said that the chief minister should also submit his resignation letter to intellectuals and the media as a promise to fulfill loan waiver as part of the party's 6 guarantees by 15th August.
నేను ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారికి ఒకటే అడుగుతా ఉన్నాను. నిజంగా మీరు ప్రజలకు ఇచ్చిన హామీలు అమలు చేసేది నిజమైతే గన్ పార్క్ దగ్గరికి రండి. ఈ గన్ పార్క్ దగ్గర అమరుల సాక్షిగా ప్రమాణం చేద్దాం. మేధావుల చేతుల్లో లేదా ఇక్కడ ఉన్న జర్నలిస్టుల చేతుల్లో మీ రాజీనామా నా రాజీనామా కూడా పెడదాం. ఆగస్టు 15 లోగా ఏకకాలంలో 2 లక్షల రుణమాఫీ 100 రోజుల్లో అమలు చేస్తామన్నాయి. బాండ్ పేపర్ల మీద రాసిచ్చిన 6 గ్యారెంటీలు అమలు చేస్తే నా రాజీనామా పత్రాన్ని నేరుగా స్పీకర్ గారికి ఇవ్వండి. నేను మళ్ళీ ఉప ఎన్నికల్లో పోటీ కూడా చెయ్యను అని ఇప్పటికే స్పష్టంగా చెప్పాను. ఒకవేళ 6 గ్యారెంటీలు 2 లక్షల రుణమాఫీ చేయకపోతే మీ రాజీనామాను గవర్నర్ గారికి ఇవ్వడానికి మీరు సిద్ధంగా ఉన్నారా అని నేను అడుగుతా ఉన్నా. మీరు దేవుడి మీద ప్రమాణం చేసి ఒట్లు పెట్టుకొని బాండ్ పేపర్ల మీద రాసిచ్చిన హామీలు నిజమే అయితే రాజీనామా చేయడానికి ఎందుకు వెనకడుగు వేస్తున్నారు? మీరు రాజీనామాకు ముందుకు రావడం లేదంటే ఈ రాష్ట్ర ప్రజల్ని మరొక్కసారి మీరు మోసం చేస్తున్నట్టే లెక్క.
Stressing on the importance of each vote, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge and party leader Rahul Gandhi on Friday issued impassioned appeals asking people to step out and exercise their franchise in the second phase of the Lok Sabha election. While Kharge urged voters to come out and vote to protect democracy from the clutches of dictatorship, Gandhi asked them to come out and be soldiers of the constitution. Addressing citizens of the country, Gandhi said today is the second phase of this historic election which is going to decide the fate of the country. The vote today will decide whether the next government will be of a few billionaires or of 140 crore Indians. Echoing him, Kharge said this is not an ordinary election and voters should not be swayed by any diversionary tactics. He asked people to imagine a future where justice, freedom, equality and liberty are guaranteed, promising a future of rapid inclusive growth and transformative policies. Various church factions in Kerala on Friday urged the people to go and vote for those supporting secularism and democracy in the general elections in the southern state. Voting commenced in all 20 Lok Sabha seats of the state at 7 a.m. on Friday. Archbishop Raphael Thattil of the influential Sirom Labar Church, after casting his vote, said the church wants everyone to live peacefully in the country. Malankara Orthodox Syrian Church head Basilios Marthoma Matthews III said the elections will help elect a new government for the betterment of the country. Thrissur Archbishop and CBCI President Archbishop Andrews Thajhat said he was devastated after witnessing the situation in Manipur and said people will vote for those who support secularism and democracy. He urged the people to vote for those who support secularism and democracy in the country. The influential Latin church said people were excited to exercise their right to vote in Kerala. All the political parties in the state were trying to cozy up to the church, which has a pretty much influential electorate in the state. The voting will conclude at 6 p.m. on Friday and the results will be out on 4th June. The Supreme Court on Friday rejected pleas seeking complete cross-verification of votes cast using EVMs with a voter-verifiable paper audit trail and said blindly distrusting any aspect of the system can breed unwarranted skepticism. The court issued two directives. Pronouncing his verdict, Justice Khanna directed the Election Commission to seal and store units used to load symbols for 45 days after the symbols have been loaded to electronic voting machines in strong rooms. The apex court also allowed engineers of the EVM manufacturers to verify the microcontroller of the machines after declaration of the results on the request of candidates who stood second and third. Request for the verification of the microcontroller can be made within 7 days of declaration of the results after payment of fees, the court said. If EVM is found tampered during verification, fees paid by the candidates will be refunded, it said. Currently, the Election Commission conducts random matching of VVPAT slips with EVMs at 5 polling booths per assembly constituency. The bench suggested the poll panel can examine whether electronic machines can be used for counting VVPAT slips and also whether barcodes can be used for parties along with their symbols. Besides seeking to return to the ballot paper system, the three petitions before it had prayed that VVPAT slips should be given to the voter to verify and put in the ballot box for counting, and there should be 100% counting of VVPAT slips, the bench said. The court has rejected all of them, Justice Khanna said. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita Kejriwal will campaign for the AAP in the Lok Sabha polls, senior party leader Atishi announced on Friday. She will begin her campaign with a roadshow in East Delhi constituency on Saturday, she added. Addressing a press conference, Atishi, who is also a minister in the Delhi government, said Sunita Kejriwal will seek votes and blessings for the AAP from the people of Delhi. She will campaign for the party in Delhi, Punjab, Gujarat and Haryana. She will hold her first roadshow in East Delhi on Saturday and then another roadshow in West Delhi on Sunday, Atishi said. Sunita Kejriwal is slowly emerging out of the shadows to assume a bigger role to give a fillip to the AAP's campaigning, which has been affected by the Chief Minister's arrest in a money laundering case in March. Arvind Kejriwal's judicial custody has been extended till 7th May. The AAP, which is contesting the Lok Sabha polls in alliance with the Congress in Delhi, has fielded its candidates in East Delhi, West Delhi, South Delhi and New Delhi seats. The Congress has fielded its candidates in Northeast Delhi, Northwest Delhi and Chandni Chowk seats. Since the Chief Minister's arrest on 21st March, Sunita Kejriwal has been acting as a channel of communication between her husband and the AAP and its MLAs.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की गिरफ्तारी के विरोध में, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के लिए आशीर्वाद मांगने के लिए और आम आदमी पार्टी के प्रत्याशियों के लिए वोट मांगने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की धर्मपत्नी सुनीता केजरीवाल जी खुद प्रचार में उतरेंगी। वो दिल्ली के लोगों से, पंजाब के लोगों से, गुजरात के लोगों से, हरियाणा के लोगों से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के लिए आशीर्वाद मांगेंगी। सुनीता केजरीवाल जी का प्रचार आम आदमी पार्टी के कैंडिडेट्स के लिए, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के लिए आशीर्वाद मांगने के लिए कल से शुरू होगा। दिल्ली से इसकी शुरुआत होगी। कल 27 अप्रैल को सुनीता केजरीवाल जी ईस्ट दिल्ली लोकसभा में रोड शो करेंगी और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के लिए ईस्ट दिल्ली के लोगों से आशीर्वाद मांगेंगी। 28 अप्रैल को सुनीता केजरीवाल जी वेस्ट दिल्ली लोकसभा सीट पर रोड शो करेंगी और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के लिए दिल्ली के लोगों से आशीर्वाद मांगेंगी। मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ये बताना चाहती हूं कि दिल्ली के लोग, पंजाब के लोग, पूरे देश के लोग अरविंद केजरीवाल के साथ खड़े हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के गिरफ्तारी के विरोध में खड़े हैं और अरविंद केजरीवाल को अपना आशीर्वाद जरूर देंगे, आम आदमी पार्टी के कैंडिडेट्स को अपना वोट जरूर देंगे।
The Ministry of Education has asked the CBSE to work out logistics for conducting board examinations twice a year from the 2025 to 26 academic session, according to sources. The plan for introducing a semester system has been ruled out, they said. The ministry and the Central Board of Secondary Education will hold consultations with school principals next month for conducting board exams twice a year, the sources said. The CBSE is currently in the process of working out the modalities of how will the academic calendar be structured to accommodate another set of board examinations without impacting the undergraduate admission schedule, they said. The idea being explored is to conduct 2 editions of the board examinations at the end of the year from the 2025 to 26 academic session, but the modalities still need to be worked out. The ministry's initial plan was to introduce biannual board examinations from the 2024 to 25 academic session, however, it has been pushed back by a year. The new National Curriculum Framework, prepared by the Union government-appointed National Steering Committee which was led by former ISRO Chairman K. Kasturirangan in line with the National Education Policy 2020, proposed a semester system for students of classes 11 and 12. YSRCP Chief Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy will embark on a 4-day election campaign for the party in Andhra Pradesh from 28 April, during which he will address public meetings in 3 assembly constituencies. With 3 public meetings scheduled on each day, the Chief Minister will cover a total of 12 assembly constituencies during the electioneering tour. On 28 April, he will address meetings at Tadipatri, Venkatagiri and Kandukuru assembly constituencies at 10 a.m., 12:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively, said a press release. On 29 April, Reddy will canvass for the party in Chodavaram, P. Gannavaram and Ponuru. The CM is scheduled to address rallies at Kontpi, Madukuru and Pailar on 30th April, followed by similar programs on 1st May in Bobbili, Paikaraupeta and Iluru. The 4-day campaign comes in the wake of 22-day Memanta Siddham bus tour across the state. Elections for the 175-member Assembly and 25 Lok Sabha seats in Andhra Pradesh are scheduled on 13th May. Market benchmarks Sensex and Nifty wilted under selling pressure on Friday after a 5-day rally as investors pared exposure to banking, financial and consumer durable stocks amid mixed trends in global markets. Rising global crude prices, a depreciating rupee and persistent foreign fund outflows further weighed on sentiment, traders said. Profit-taking also came into play as the 30-share BSE Sensex tanked 609.28 points or 0.82% to settle at 73,730.16. During the day, it lost 722.79 points or 0.97% to 73,616.65. The NSE Nifty declined 150.40 points or 0.67% to 22,419.95. Bajaj Finance was the biggest drag on the Sensex chart, skidding nearly 8% after the company's March quarter earnings failed to cheer investors. Bajaj Finserv also declined over 3%. IndusInd Bank, Nestle, Kotak Mahindra Bank and Mahindra were among the other laggards. Meanwhile, Tech Mahindra jumped over 7% after the IT services company's CEO outlined an ambitious 3-year roadmap to accelerate revenue growth and lift margins. Wipro, ITC, Ultratech Cement, Titan and Axis Bank were among the gainers. In Asian markets, Seoul, Tokyo, Shanghai and Hong Kong settled in the positive territory. Foreign institutional investors offloaded equities worth 2,823.33 crore rupees on Thursday, according to exchange data. Dubbing the Congress as Italy Congress, Telangana BJP President G. Kishan Reddy on Friday alleged that the Grand Old Party is following a divide and rule policy since independence. Addressing a media conference here, Kishan Reddy alleged that the present Congress is a transformation of Jinnah's Muslim League. After independence, the Nehru family, which occupied the chair by ignoring Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, has been following divide and rule policy. It is APT to call it Italy Congress. Bharat is APT for our party. The Congress party had tried to make All India Congress Committee former President Sonia Gandhi as Prime Minister of the country, and it was the BJP that had prevented it, he claimed. No one believes the Congress when it propagates that the BJP will scrap reservations if it comes back to power. The BJP leader alleged that backward classes in the state are facing injustice as the Congress is extending reservations to Muslims by including them in the backward classes quota. He said he wanted to ask the Congress about the basis of the Muslim reservations being implemented in the state. In a broadside, he alleged that Congress is the party that had implemented Jinnah's constitution in Jammu and Kashmir for 73 years and that it was the Article 370 that had killed 42,000 people there.
కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ వస్తే రిజర్వేషన్లు ఉండవు అనేటువంటి ఒక వితండవాదము పిచ్చి వాళ్ళ వాదం చేస్తా ఉంది. మతి భ్రమించినోళ్ళు మాత్రమే ఆ మాటలు మాట్లాడతారు. కనీస పరిజ్ఞానం లేనోళ్ళు మాత్రమే ఆ మాటలు మాట్లాడతారు. అధికార దాహంతో తహతలాడుతున్నారు కాబట్టి ఆ మాటలు మాట్లాడతారు. కుర్చీ పోయింది కాబట్టి కుర్చీ కోసం కుప్పిగంతులు వేసేళ్ళట్టు మాత్రమే ఈ మాటలు మాట్లాడతారు. నేను ఒకటే అడుగుతా ఉన్నాను, ముస్లిం రిజర్వేషన్స్ ఏ ప్రాతిపదికన తీసుకొచ్చారు? కాంగ్రెస్ పుణ్యమాని జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్లో గత 73 సంవత్సరాలుగా జిన్నా రాజ్యాంగాన్ని అమలు చేసినటువంటి సిగ్గులేనటువంటి పార్టీ కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ. ఒక జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్లోనే 42,000 మందిని పొట్టన పెట్టుకున్నది జిన్నా రాజ్యాంగం కారణంగా, ఆర్టికల్ 370 కారణంగా ఈ కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ. దేశంలో కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ వాడుతున్నటువంటి భాష, చేస్తున్నటువంటి ప్రకటనలు మరింత దిగజారి వ్యవహరిస్తూ ఉన్నారు. దేశానికి 200 సంవత్సరాలు కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ కంటే ముందు బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు పరిపాలించిన కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ బ్రిటిష్ వారసత్వాన్ని కొనసాగిస్తుంది. బ్రిటిష్ ప్రతినిధిగా ఇటలీకి చెందినటువంటి సోనియా గాంధీని దేశం మీద రుద్దేటువంటి ప్రయత్నం చేసింది. ఆ రోజు భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీ అడ్డుకోకపోతే సోనియా గాంధీ ఇటలీకి చెందినటువంటి వ్యక్తిని దేశ ప్రధానిగా చేయాలని దుర్మార్గపు కుట్ర ప్రమాదం ఏ రకంగా చేసిందో దేశ ప్రజలందరూ మర్చిపోలేదు. ఆ రోజు మా పార్టీ ఖచ్చితంగా అడ్డుకుంటాము. మా స్వర్గీయ సుష్మా స్వరాజ్ గారు ప్రతిన పూనర్తో దిక్కుతోచని పరిస్థితుల్లో ఆ రోజు రిమోట్ కంట్రోల్ ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ గా మన్మోహన్ సింగ్ గారిని పెట్టుకున్న విషయము దేశ ప్రజలు మర్చిపోలేదు. ఈరోజు కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ ఇండియన్ నేషనల్ కాంగ్రెస్ కాదు, అది ఇటలీ నేషన్ కాంగ్రెస్ గా మారిపోయింది. అలాంటి కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ ఈరోజు భారతీయ జనతా పార్టీని విమర్శించేటువంటి నైతిక హక్కు లేదు.
YSRCP Dalit leader Doka Manikya Vara Prasad quits party. A prominent Dalit figure in YSRCP, Doka Manikya Vara Prasad, resigned from the party on Friday. He has also stepped down from his position as the Guntur district YSRCP president. Doka Manikya Vara Prasad, a seasoned politician and respected Dalit leader, tendered his resignation letter to Chief Minister YS Jagan Mohan Reddy on Friday. With a history of service, Doka Manikya Vara Prasad previously served as an MLC. His political journey includes successful stints as a representative in the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly from the Tadikonda constituency, both in 2004 and 2009 during the era of undivided Andhra Pradesh. Following the state's bifurcation, he shifted to the TDP. However, after the TDP's disappointing performance in the 2019 elections, he shifted his allegiance to the YSRCP in 2020, where he secured a seat in the Legislative Council. Thank you for watching Swatantra TV English Bulletin. For a complete and comprehensive English news bulletin, please do watch Swatantra TV. This is Mahima, signing off for the day. Keep watching Swatantra TV.